We are back. New video, new Josh, new me. Nope, none of those things. None of those things are new, but it is a new video. And from the previous video, you guys seen that I was having trouble with my CNC, wasn't being able to get the file to communicate with the boot box down there to the control panel to here. It was getting grayed out. I saved it wrong. I did not save that as an NGC file, evidently. And I talked to a couple friends. They were kind and very patient to deal with me because that's not something I would wish on anybody. Anywho's, we got things going. I was making a cut and things were going great until I broke a bit. Power went out and I was not using my normal dust collection, which is into another outlet. I know better. I was trying to see the bit work and then I was using a different dust collector that was plugged in. I had too many things basically plugged in to this little area over here. Power went black, dark, not good. Shut the router off. Everything was fine. I was gonna toggle my router out of the pocket. Thought I was going up. I was going this way. Broke the bit right there. It's an IDC bit. I like it a lot. Lesson learned, don't use a really good bit on your first cut when you don't know what you're doing. I did order some cheapo bits from the old Jungle store. Those are here. I'm gonna reset it up. We're gonna try to redo this so I can make sure that this file works, and I actually cut out a guitar body. Then also we're gonna figure out more stuff on the neck. I got that taped off. I'll show you that because I'm gonna put finish on the neck like we talked about. I think I'm gonna do some Osmo this time. People don't like a shiny, sticky neck. That's all I'm saying. So anywho, let's kind of get going and I'll check back with you guys once we kind of get things up and running. Heidi-ho. Okie dokie. You know, I already injured myself by just, you know, trying to take the darn bit out of the, why does it have to be so hard to like, I need a tool changing rack or something. Anything to make it easier. Let's kind of keep going here. So I picked up some bits from Spee Tool. These ones right here. Hopefully they work okay. You'll notice that it's a 5-pack because I didn't trust myself to like just buy one because I am probably going to break another bit. I might break several other bits. So let's see if those get us through the next few cuts. And then they're a down cut bit, 1/4 inch, yada, yada, yada. I'm not going to bore you with the details of that, but let's put it in here. Let's set up the new piece of material and then let's try to load the file and see if it cuts. And then, you know, one of these numbers, fingers crossed, everything goes well, the bit doesn't break, this doesn't burn down the shop, and you know, I just want to cut out a guitar body. That's all I'm trying to do. That's all I'm trying to do. Last video, you guys see me talk about trying to find a 0 point or set up my own 0 point. Like I wanted to cut it from here and I was saying, you know, the machine wants to be 0 point right here where it's homed in this bottom left-hand corner. And I'm like, I should be able to set up my own 0 and get it to cut from like right here or whatever I want to do. Just like I thought, it's a Josh issue. You can do that, you know. You can do it manually, or I have this little like, you know, the little touchpad when you're gonna like, you know, get your Z axis up and down, you just touch it off to the sides. There's like literally like an a probe XYZ on this little controller thing. That's basically gonna toggle it up. It's gonna probe the Z, and then it's gonna touch off to the side, and then the other side, the X and the Y, and then that's gonna be basically telling it, yes, this is where your material is at. I chose to cut from the center, and then miraculously it worked. I just had to have somebody tell me how to do it. So with practice, that should become more and more easy for me to do. So what I'm gonna do right now, without breaking this bit, hopefully, toggle it over to the little like, I'm gonna hover it over the circle that's on this probe, and then I'm gonna like start the process of, you know, getting this thing to cut. We shall see how that goes. Let me bring you in here a little closer actually. So hopefully you can see this right through here. This is, you know, this is the plate here that I use to touch things off, or the probe plate, or whatever you want to call it. I'm gonna hover the bit over top of this little circle guy here, placing it right on the corner. I'm gonna plug in the banana wire there to that thing. I have to touch off this. Little like magnetic deal here to get conductivity. I think I got to touch it to here. If that doesn't work, I'll stick it to there. But like right now, we'll do there. I'm gonna get it as close to this little thing here as I can for now. Bring it down. Whoops. That's pretty good. Now I'm going to start the process on the touchpad and tell it to probe X, Y, Z, and then hopefully it does it. Check the probe. Yes, there's conductivity. Now we're probing. Touches off, says okay. That's for the Z. We're going to touch off on the side. So there's the X, hopefully. Touch off on the other side for the Y, or vice versa. I don't know which way is X and Y, to be honest with you. We are set. Take this off, take this off. We're gonna click done. Supposedly, we're good, because now that's telling me that is recognizing this block of wood in space on my cutting space that I have here. If you think of it, my buddy said, if you think of it like a plot of land, you got to tell this thing where it's walking at in the field. My cutting field is 32 by 32, so it has to know where it is in relation to the program and file that you sent over. I am going to just go ahead and get this started and see what happens. Hook up dust collection, we'll get that all set, and you know, like I said, fingers crossed we can cut out a body here. We'll see what happens. All right, I'll let you guys know. You might even see it. You might see it. We got it. We did it. I figured it out. So this is that 2x6 that you guys, or 2x6 blank that you guys seen me cutting on the Onefinity. With the help of some friends, I was able to get this to work. So basically what happened was I didn't have things saved quite correctly, and it wasn't recognizing it in the panel. I'm not an expert at this stuff for sure, but I had to save it as an NGC, and then I had to do some other things, which I'll try to figure out, take some better notes and show you guys. Sorry, thought there was somebody coming. I'll take some notes and I'll see if I can cover that later, but I was able to get that cut on my blank. I think now I can go ahead and test the real deal on some black limba, some curly black limba. I've only made this is my first cut, so I don't know really if I should put it on there and potentially ruin a piece of good material, but what the heck, you know, I'm gonna cut it. I'm gonna get it down to thickness, which is 1.75 inches, an inch and 3/4 is kind of standard for Telecaster. So, and I'm not putting a front or a back veneer on this next body blank. I do want to chamber it again though to make these to make it lighter, so I'll have to figure that out. So worst case scenario, I'll do that by hand, but I would like to figure out how to do that on CNC. But we're cooking with gas now. I think I've at least got that part done. I don't have a neck file yet. I want to get a neck file going, but we'll take you along. Where else am I at? I went ahead and taped off the neck because I'm going to oil the neck. I just used, you know, just the regular old tape that comes with the StuMac. Now they've been kind enough to send me a couple things, one of them being this tape dispenser here. I mean, get you some tape if you can. You're gonna go through a lot of tape, taping off the necks and doing different things like that. Pretty nice little piece of equipment to have for the room. It's pretty heavy too, so it's not gonna like fall off your table or anything like that. But I taped around the neck because I wanna oil the fretboard. I think I'm to the point where I can oil the fretboard. I want to oil it first before I put the frets on. I'm going to do that hopefully, you know, during the course of this video. The other thing I did was I plugged up some holes that were, I had a different bridge, and I just didn't like it. So then the holes weren't lining up. I went ahead and plugged some holes. I took cut off some walnut, and then I ran it through the pencil sharpener portion of my tape measure. Now, if you have just use any pencil sharpener. Stuck them in there, glued them in, used some Titebond clear or translucent glue so that way it wouldn't impart any color on here. It's gonna be covered up by the bridge. Not super worried about it, but we're gonna get those holes repositioned, re-drilled, and then these string holes, I gotta drill through holes to the back, and then I have some ferrules on order that we'll put in the back. I got the back cavity cut. That fits like a gem, by golly. I think we might have already covered this, and if we didn't, I apologize, but that just pops in there beautifully. It looks like that. It's some walnut burl. Now I just have to locate some magnets and thin this out. I'll sand this down all together at the same time so it's all flush and together. So that's where we're at on that. Maybe I'll tape that in there for now. Okay, onward. I think I already mentioned to you that I was going to take off the tuners. I got the tuners all off. I have this sanded up to 3000 grit. It's not perfect probably, but I mean, it feels pretty good to me. I've taped everything off. I showed you guys that just using some tape, regular painter's tape probably is all it is. What I think I'm going to do is go ahead and throw some Osmo. This Poly-X on there. It is a clear gloss. Anybody that's used Osmo before knows though that gloss for Osmo isn't really that glossy necessarily, which is probably good. I don't want this to be super glossy, but I think you can build a little bit of a sheen. I don't even know if this is good anymore, to be honest with you. Upon first glance, it doesn't look great. Pretty gunky in there. I've had this for quite a while. So maybe this top layer, yeah, this top layer is no good, but there is a bottom layer that looks decent. I'm gonna mess with this, see if I can dig out the junk, put it in the trash, and a little thicker than I'd like to see it, but it's my first guitar. I like the Osmo product. We're just gonna throw some on here and see how it goes, I guess. Okay. One good thing with Osmo is that you can just do light coats. Gotta work it into the grain. So the good thing with Osmo, like a lot of these oil waxes that have gotten popular with woodworkers over the last 6-7 years, is that you don't have to keep a wet edge. So it'll stay, like you can start anywhere, start and stop anywhere on a piece of wood, not like urethanes of the past where you had to worry about keeping a wet edge and avoiding streaks. I can literally just put this on wherever, it'll be fine. Let it set for a few minutes, then we'll buff it back off. And I can do several coats, and it should build a decent sheen. And I might apply a little bit of hard, just regular like a paste wax or brie wax or something like that after I'm done. But so let's stay here for a second, and I'm gonna come back and buff it off. I'll probably have to go through these fret slots and clean them back out. Make sure I get this hard wax oil out of there just in case we gum it up a little bit. So I'm gonna do that next, once I get this buffed off. It does feel pretty darn good. You're gonna burnish it just a little bit when you do this, which is what we want. I'm gonna put on 3 coats. Okay, there's that part for now. Not a huge change in coloring, but I really like it. looks pretty darn good. And that will, like I said, we'll get a little bit of a sheen out of that after a few more coats, and along with some of the brie wax or paste wax, that'll look pretty dang nice. Okay, I'm gonna use that for the whole entire neck, for sure. Okay, onward. A friend of mine told me that I probably should just take these, there's tangs on these frets. I want to install the frets in the fretboard now. So I've got the coat of oil wax on it. I think I'm all set with that. Now what I want to do is do that, but I just have the fret saw set originally for those to be exactly the depth of the tang. My friend told me that I should go just a bit deeper. I mean, just a hair deeper, because if I'm setting, if I'm hammering in the fret and it just goes to the exact depth, I might not have that perfect, and it's going to bottom out. I'm not going to be able to set that fret all the way flush with the fretboard. So I'm just going to go just a hair deeper, and then I think we should be cooking with gas. If there's any discrepancy on the sides, we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. Alrighty. I'm gonna put this down now. The other thing that he told me to do was start on each end, pound on each end basically, and set that in, and then tap through the middle. And then that should, be correct. Versus tapping from one side to the other. You might deform the fret. What if I feel like this isn't going to work out and I'm going to have to pop these out of there? We'll see. Oh, actually, 1 second. I have to take a file, and I have to file down in between each of these frets just a little bit and put like a little bit of a bevel on each one. That's what I got to do. Okay, let's do that first. So I have this super small little chisel basically, and it's like a triangle shape. I'm going to use this just to lightly get a little chamfer on things, each fret. Now here goes nothing. Fingers crossed it doesn't bottom out. Probably gonna, but maybe I'll be surprised. Something will work out good. Anyways, I have this feeler gauge. So let's see if it looks like it's all the way flat. Let's see if we can get a feeler gauge any of these underneath of it. That'll tell us for sure. Seems to be okay. So let's continue. I'm gonna continue down this. You don't have to watch the whole thing, but when we come back, hopefully I'll have all these frets at least pounded in, and it'll look like a little bit more like a guitar neck. Okay, we'll be back. Okay. So there's that. Now, some of them I can see I still have a gap with room to go. So I don't know if I need to get like a press and press them in, but I definitely still have room to pound them in still, and they're not quite going. So maybe I'm just afraid to hit it, but they're not quite seating. That is not the sign of a good fret job. Maybe I need a bigger hammer. Okay. Yippee.